The stars looked different from inside the alien ship. Dr. Jinwoo Park pressed. The planet was mostly blue, covered in vast oceans that sparkled, like jewels under their twin suns. Nervous? Asked Dr. Sujin Lee, sitting beside him. She was the team's marine biologist and had been studying Veltheran culture for months. A little, Jinwoo admitted. He was the mission leader, but this was his first time meeting aliens face to face. What if I mess this up? Sujin smiled. Just be yourself. Reports say Veltherans are very polite. They won't get angry if you make a mistake. Their shuttle landed on a floating platform in the middle of a crystal-clear lake. The Veltherans lived both underwater and on the surface, but they had built this meeting place just for the humans. It was covered with a clear dome filled with air so both species could breathe comfortably. Jinwoo's team gathered their equipment. Besides Sujin, there was Dong Hyun Kim, their communications officer, and Haewon Choi, their security chief. They all wore their best uniforms and carried translation devices. Remember, Jinwoo said, we're here to make friends. Earth needs allies, and the Veltherans might be perfect partners for space exploration. The airlock opened with a soft hiss. Jinwoo stepped out first and saw them waiting. The Veltherans were beautiful in a way that took his breath away. They stood about 6 feet tall, with smooth skin that seemed to shimmer between blue and green. Their eyes were large and dark, like deep ocean pools. Most amazing of all, they had small slits along their necks that opened and closed gently. Gills, Jinwoo realized. They could breathe underwater. Welcome, humans, said the tallest Veltheran, speaking in perfect English through a small device on his chest. I am Commander Vexai. We are honored by your visit. Jinwoo stepped forward and bowed slightly, the way he had practiced. Thank you, Commander. I'm Dr. Jinwoo Park. We're excited to be here. Commander Vexai nodded and gestured to a younger Veltheran beside him. This is Lirelei. She will be your cultural liaison during your stay. Jinwoo looked at Lirelei and felt his heart skip a beat. She was smaller than the others, with skin that seemed to glow softly. Her large eyes were the color of deep water, and they seemed to watch him with curiosity and something else he couldn't identify. Hello, Lirelei said softly. Her voice was musical, like water flowing over stones. I am pleased to meet you, Dr. Park. Please, call me Jinwoo, he said with a smile. We're going to be working together, so let's be friends. Eli's skin suddenly flushed a pale pink color. Jinwoo noticed that the gills on her neck fluttered quickly, like she was breathing hard. Was she nervous? That is. Very kind, she said, her voice even softer now. Sujin leaned close to Jinwoo's ear. Look at her skin color, she whispered. It's changing. I think that means something. Jinwoo looked more carefully. It was fascinating. Commander Vexai led them through the facility, showing them where they would stay and work. The building was mostly made of a clear material that let them see the lake around them. Fish swam by the windows, and other Veltherans moved gracefully through the water outside. Your people are amazing swimmers, Jinwoo said to Lirelei as they walked. How long can you stay underwater? Many hours, she replied. We are more comfortable in water than on land, but we can live in both places. Her gills fluttered again when she spoke to him directly. They reached a large room with tables and chairs designed for both humans and Veltherans. The chairs for the aliens were different, with spaces for their gills and skin to stay moist. This is where we will have our meetings, Commander Vexai explained. We have prepared files about our culture and technology to share with you. Looked around the room, his mind already racing with possibilities. These aliens were advanced, probably more than humans in some ways. But they seemed peaceful and willing to cooperate. This could be the partnership Earth needed. Commander, Jinwoo said, I have to be honest with you. Humans are not always patient. We'll like to move quickly when we find something exciting. I hope that won't be a problem. Lirelei translated Jinwoo's words into her language for some of the other Veltharans. They made soft sounds that might have been laughter. We have heard this about humans, Commander Vexai said. It is not a bad thing. Sometimes moving quickly is wise. Over the next few hours, both teams shared information about their worlds and cultures. Jinwoo learned that Veltharans lived much longer than humans, sometimes over 200 years. They made decisions slowly and carefully, thinking about how each choice would affect the future. Humans, Jinwoo explained, lived shorter lives but could adapt quickly to new situations. They were good at solving problems fast and taking risks. When necessary, interesting, Lirelei said. Very different from us, but perhaps ... complementary. Jinwoo nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. That's why I think we could work well together. Every time Jinwoo spoke directly to Lirelei, her skin changed colors and her gills moved faster. Sujin noticed it too and started taking notes. It was clearly some kind of emotional response, but to what? As the day ended, Jinwoo felt excited about the possibilities. The Veltharans were intelligent, advanced, and seemed genuinely interested. In cooperation, with their careful planning and human adaptability, they could explore parts of space that neither species could handle alone. Lirelei, Jinwoo said as they prepared to leave, "Could we meet privately tomorrow? I have something important to discuss with you." Lirelei's entire body seemed to freeze. Her skin flashed a bright purple color that Jinwoo had never seen before. Her gills stopped moving completely for a moment. You ... You wish to meet privately?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," Jinwoo said, not understanding her reaction. "I have a proposition for you, something that could change everything for both our peoples." Lirelei made a small sound, almost like a gasp. Her skin was now cycling through multiple colors: purple, pink, yellow, and back to purple. She looked at Commander Vexai, who was watching with great interest. Yes, she said finally. "I will meet with you tomorrow." "Great," Jinwoo said with a big smile. "I think you're going to love what I have in mind." As the humans left for their quarters, Jinwoo felt proud of how well the first day had gone. He had no idea that his simple request had just turned Lirelei's world upside down behind them. Lirelei stood frozen, her skin still flashing colors. Commander Vexai approached her with concern. "Are you well, young one?" he asked in their language. "He wants to meet privately," Lirelei whispered. "He says he has a proposition." After only one day, Commander Vexai's eyes widened. In Veltharan culture, such words could only mean one thing: the human wanted to court her. Lirelei could not sleep. She floated in the warm water of her private pool, staring at the ceiling of her quarters. Her skin kept changing colors without her control: pink, yellow, deep blue, then back to pink again. She had never felt so confused. In her life, the human wanted to meet her privately. He said he had a proposition. In Veltharan culture, those words meant only one thing: a courtship proposal. But humans had only arrived yesterday. How could Dr. Park want to bond with her so? Quickly, she swam to the surface and activated her communication device. "Elder Thalisa, I need your help." The old Veltharan's face appeared on the screen. Her ancient skin was pale silver, and her wise eyes looked concerned. "Child, what troubles you? Your colors are very unstable. The human leader wants to meet me privately tomorrow," Lirelei said. "He says he has a proposition for me." Elder Thalisa's gills stopped moving completely. "Are you certain of his words?" "Yes, Elder. He said it exactly. I have a proposition for you, something that could change everything for both our peoples." The old Veltharan was quiet for a long moment. "This is unexpected." even for humans. What should I do? Lirelei asked. I barely know him. We have only spoken for a few hours. Humans are known for being impulsive, Elder Thalisa said slowly. But a bonding proposal after one day. This is extreme even for them. She paused. Tell me, child, what do you think of this human? Lirelei's skin flushed pink again. He is ... different. When he speaks, his eyes light up with excitement. He asks many questions and listens to the answers. He is not like the other species we have met. And how do you feel when he speaks to you? My heart beats faster, Lirelei admitted. My gills flutter. I cannot control my skin colors around him. It is embarrassing. Thalisa smiled knowingly. Perhaps it is not embarrassing. Perhaps it is natural. But Elder, we have just met. How can I consider a bonding proposal from someone I barely know? Listen to your heart tomorrow, the Elder advised. But also listen to your mind. If he truly wishes to court you, you must decide if you want to learn more about him. Humans are fascinating creatures, but they are also very different from us. Meanwhile, in the human quarters, Jinwoo was having his own meeting. His team sat around a small table, reviewing the day's events and planning for tomorrow. The Veltherans seem very interested in cooperation, Sujin said, looking at her notes. But did you notice how Lirelei kept changing colors when you spoke to her? I noticed, Jinwoo replied. Do you think it means something? Donghaen pulled up files on his tablet. According to our research, Veltheran skin colors show emotions. Pink usually means embarrassment or nervousness. Yellow is confusion. She seemed confused a lot today, Haewon observed, especially when you asked for a private meeting. Jinwoo nodded. That's why I want to talk to her alone. I think she's nervous about the cultural differences. If I can explain my idea properly, she might be more comfortable. What exactly are you planning to propose? Sujin asked. Jinwoo's eyes lit up with excitement. A joint deep space exploration mission. Think about it. Their careful planning combined with our adaptability. We could explore regions of space that neither species could handle alone. That's ambitious, Donghaen said. The Veltherans move slowly on big decisions. They might need months to consider it. That's why I want to talk to Lirelei first, Jinwoo explained. She's young and seems more open to new ideas. If I can get her excited about the project, she might help convince the others. Haewon frowned. Be careful. We don't want to offend their customs by rushing things. I'll be respectful, Jinwoo promised. But sometimes you have to take a chance to achieve something great. The next morning, Lirelei swam nervously through the underwater corridors of the facility. She had chosen her best formal clothing, a flowing garment that sparkled like fish scales in the light. Her skin was a pale yellow-green, trying to stay. Calm colors. She met Jinwoo in a small meeting room with windows that looked out into the lake. He was already there, wearing a clean uniform and holding a tablet full of information. Good morning, Lirelei, he said, with a warm smile. Thank you for meeting with me. Good morning, Jinwoo, she replied. Her gills fluttered as she said his name. I am ... curious about your proposition. Jinwoo gestured for her to sit in one of the specially designed chairs. I hope you'll be as excited about this as I am. Lirelei's skin shifted to a deeper yellow. Excited? Was this how humans began courtship rituals? Before I explain, Jinwoo continued, I want you to know that I think you're remarkable. Your intelligence, your curiosity about other species. It's exactly what this project needs. Lirelei's skin flashed pink. He was complimenting her qualities. This was definitely sounding like a courtship approach. You are very kind, she managed to say. Jinwoo activated his tablet and showed her a star map. Look at this region of space, the Void Nebula. Both our species have wanted to explore it, but it's too dangerous for either of us alone. Lirelei stared at the map. This was not what she had expected. You want to explore the Void Nebula? Yes. But not just explore it. I want our species to do it together. A joint mission that combines Velthoran patience and precision with human adaptability and problem-solving. Her skin was cycling through multiple colors now. Confusion, surprise, and something else. This is your proposition. Exactly, Jinwoo said enthusiastically. I know it sounds crazy, but think about it. Velthorans are amazing at long-term planning. You can think through problems that would take humans years to solve. But humans are good at quick decisions and adapting when things go wrong. Lirelei felt her world spinning. This was not a courtship proposal. This was something much more dangerous and exciting. The Void Nebula has destroyed 3 exploration ships, she said carefully. Ships from single species, Jinwoo pointed out. What if we combined our technologies, your navigation systems with our adaptive shields, your environmental controls with our emergency protocols? Despite her confusion, Lirelei found herself leaning forward. The idea was terrifying and wonderful at the same time. The Council would never approve such a mission. Maybe not right away, Jinwoo admitted. But if we can show them how well our species work together, if we can prove that cooperation makes us stronger, ... Lirelei's skin was now glowing a soft teal color, the shade that meant deep interest. You truly believe this could work? I don't just believe it, Jinwoo said. I know it. I've seen how you think, Lirelei. Your mind works differently than mine, but when we talk, we understand each other. That's the key to making this work. Lirelei realized she was breathing hard, her gills working quickly. But it wasn't from nervousness anymore. It was from excitement. This human was proposing something that no one had ever dared to suggest. A partnership that could change both their peoples forever. This is very dangerous, she said. The best discoveries always are. Jinwoo replied. Lirelei's skin settled into a steady gold color, the shade of determination mixed with hope. I will need to think about this. Course, Jinwoo said. But while you're thinking, remember, this great things happen when different species work together. We could be the first to prove it. As Lirelei left the meeting, her mind was racing. This was not the proposition she had expected, but it might be something even more important. The human was offering her a chance to explore the unknown, too. Be part of something that could change the galaxy. Her skin glowed with golden light as she swam toward Elder Thalisa's chambers. She had much to discuss with her mentor. Behind her, Jinwoo smiled. The meeting had gone better than he hoped. He could see the excitement in Lirelei's changing colors. Now, he just had to convince the rest of both their species that this crazy idea could work. Dr. Sujin Lee was having trouble sleeping. Something about Lirelei's reactions bothered her. As a marine biologist, she had studied many water-dwelling species, and the Velthoran's color changes seemed too extreme for simple. Nervousness, she got up from her bed and turned on her research tablet. Computer, show me all files on Velthoran's social customs and mating rituals. The screen filled with information. Sujin read quietly, her eyes growing wider with each paragraph. Velthoran courtship was complex and formal. It involved specific color displays, ritual gifts, and most importantly, formal propositions made in private meetings. Oh no, she whispered. Jinwoo has no idea what he's done. She grabbed her communication device and tried to call Jinwoo. But he was already in morning meetings with the Velthoran Council. She would have to wait. Meanwhile, Jinwoo stood before a room full of Velthoran officials. The council chamber was underwater with a special air-filled section for the human delegation. Large windows showed the beautiful coral gardens of the Velthoran capital city. Honored council members, Jinwoo began. I want to thank you for this opportunity to present our proposal. Commander Vexhai sat at the center of the curved table. Beside him were other high-ranking Veltharans, their skin colors showing various shades of attention and curiosity. At the far end sat Li Relay, serving as the official translator. "We are eager to hear your ideas, Dr. Park," Commander Vex High said politely. Jinwoo activated his holographic display. A three-dimensional map of space appeared, showing the dangerous Void Nebula region. "For too long, both our species have dreamed of exploring this area. Alone, it's too dangerous. Together, we could succeed where others have failed." The council members made soft, murmuring sounds. Li Relay translated Jinwoo's words into their language, her skin glowing a warm gold color that hadn't dimmed since their private meeting. "The Void Nebula has temporal distortions that change quickly," Jinwoo continued. "Humans are good at fast decisions and rapid adaptation. But it also has gravitational fields that require careful calculation. Veltharans excel at patient, precise analysis." Elder Korthal, the oldest council member, spoke up. "This is an interesting theory, young human, but theory and practice are different things. That's why we propose a test mission first," Jinwoo said. "A short exploration of the nebula's outer edge with a joint crew of both species." Li Relay's translation was animated, her gestures graceful as she explained the technical details. Jinwoo noticed how the other council members watched her carefully. Her obvious enthusiasm for the project seemed to influence their thinking. "The human makes bold claims," said Counselor Veltar. "How do we know your species can be trusted with such an important mission?" Before Jinwoo could answer, Li Relay spoke up. "Honored counselors, I have observed the humans closely. Their methods are different from ours, but their commitment is genuine. Dr. Park speaks with passion about exploration and discovery. This is not just politics for them, it is their nature." Jinwoo smiled at her support, not knowing that her words carried extra weight because the council believed she was romantically involved with him. The meeting continued for 2 hours. Jinwoo presented detailed plans, technical specifications, and timeline proposals. Li Relay translated everything, adding her own observations about human capabilities. Finally, Commander Vexai called for a recess. "We will discuss this among ourselves and give you our answer tomorrow." As the council members filed out, Li Relay approached Jinwoo. Her skin was cycling through excited colors: gold, bright teal, and silver. "You presented very well," she said. "I think they are interested." "Thank you for your help," Jinwoo replied. "Your translations were perfect, and your support means everything." Li Relay's skin flushed pink. It is an honor to help with something so important. Just then, Sujin burst into the chamber, looking panicked. "Jinwoo, I need to talk to you right now. It's urgent." "What's wrong?" Jinwoo asked, concerned by his colleague's expression. Sujin glanced at Li Relay, then at Jinwoo. "We have a cultural problem, a big one." Li Relay's skin shifted to pale yellow. "What kind of problem?" Sujin took a deep breath. "Jinwoo, when you asked Li Relay for a private meeting and said you had a proposition for her, do you know what that means in Veltharan culture?" "It means I wanted to discuss the mission," Jinwoo said, confused. "No," Sujin said gently. "In Veltharan culture, a private meeting with a proposition means a marriage proposal." Jinwoo's face went completely white. Li Relay's skin flashed bright purple, the color of extreme embarrassment. "Oh no," Jinwoo whispered. "Li Relay, I am so sorry. I had no idea. I never meant to." "You didn't know," Li Relay said quickly, her voice barely audible. "I should have realized. Humans are so different from us." An awkward silence filled the room. Sujin looked between them, seeing the confusion and embarrassment on both their faces. "Wait," Jinwoo said slowly. "If you thought I was proposing marriage, why did you agree to meet with me?" Li Relay's skin went through several rapid color changes. I was curious and scared. But also, double quotes, she paused. I wanted to know what you would say. And when I started talking about space exploration instead of marriage, I was surprised, Lirelei admitted. But then I became excited about the mission. It is something I have dreamed about but never thought possible. Jinwoo looked at her carefully. Were you disappointed when you realized I wasn't actually proposing marriage? Lirelei's skin settled into a deep rose color, a shade Sujin didn't recognize. That is a personal question. I'm sorry, Jinwoo said quickly. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. No, it's not that, Lirelei said. It's just, yes. I was a little disappointed. The admission hung in the air between them. Jinwoo felt his heart beating faster. He had been so focused on the mission that he hadn't considered his growing feelings for this remarkable alien woman. Lirelei, he said softly, what if I told you that while my original proposition was about the mission, my feelings about you have become more personal? Her skin brightened to a warm gold with hints of rose. What do you mean? I mean that. Working with you, seeing how your mind works, watching your excitement about exploration, It makes me want to know you better, not just as a colleague, but as, He struggled for the right words. As a potential partner, Lirelei finished quietly. Yes, Jinwoo said. If that's something you might want to. Lirelei was quiet for a long moment, her skin shifting through gentle colors. Finally, she spoke. Among my people, relationships develop slowly over many years. But you humans move quickly at everything. We don't have to move quickly, Jinwoo said. We can take all the time you need. But first, we have a mission to complete, Lirelei said with a smile. If the council approves it, right? Jinwoo agreed. The mission comes first. Sujin, who had been watching this exchange with growing amazement, spoke up. So let me get this straight. You accidentally proposed marriage, which led to a space exploration proposal, which has now led to an actual romantic interest. Jinwoo and Lirelei looked at each other and started laughing. The absurdity of the situation suddenly seemed funny rather than embarrassing. Only humans could court someone by accident, Lirelei said, her skin glowing with happiness. And only you would be amazing enough to make me want to turn that accident into something real. Jinwoo replied. Just then, Commander Vexai entered the chamber. He looked at Lirelei's glowing skin and Jinwoo's happy expression. I see the cultural confusion has been resolved, he said, with what might have been a smile. Good. The council has made its decision about your mission proposal. Jinwoo and Lirelei turned to him eagerly. We approve a preliminary test mission, Commander Vexai announced. But with conditions. The mission will be small, carefully planned, and jointly commanded by both species. And, he added, looking directly at Jinwoo and Lirelei, we believe the success of this mission will depend greatly on the partnership between its leaders. Lirelei's skin flashed silver with determination. Jinwoo grinned widely. They had their mission, and maybe they had found something even more valuable in each other. 3 months later, the joint mission was facing its biggest challenge yet, not from space, but from politics. In the human space station orbiting Earth, Admiral Chen sat across from Jinwoo with a frown on her face. Dr. Park, we're having second thoughts about this mission. Why? Jinwoo asked. All the tests have been successful. The hybrid technologies work perfectly. That's exactly the problem, Admiral Chen replied. We're sharing too much technology with the Veltharans. What if they use our adaptive shield designs against us someday? Jinwoo felt frustrated. Admiral? The Veltharans are peaceful. They've never started a war with anyone that we know of, the Admiral said. But species can change. We need to protect Earth's interests. Meanwhile, on the Veltharan homeworld, Lirelei was having her own difficult meeting. The Veltheran High Council sat in their underwater chamber, their skin colors showing various shades of concern and doubt. "Child," said Elder Korthal, "we worry that this mission moves too quickly. Proper exploration requires years of planning, not months." Honored Elder Lirelay replied respectfully, "We have done extensive planning. The hybrid systems have been tested thoroughly, but working with humans, ... double quotes, another council member said. They are so impulsive. What if they make dangerous decisions?" In space, Lirelay's skin flashed with frustration, but she kept her voice calm. The humans' quick thinking could save lives if something goes wrong. Their adaptability is a strength, not a weakness. Elder Thalisa spoke up from her place at the table. "I have watched this young one work with the humans. She has learned much from them, and they have learned from her. Perhaps this is how progress happens, through cooperation and trust." Back on the joint construction station between Earth and the Veltheran system, the real work continued. Engineer Taman Song worked alongside his Veltheran partner Kethfer in the main engineering bay of their new ship. "Hand me the quantum stabilizer," Taman said. Reaching into the ship's navigation system, Kethfer passed him the device with one of his 4 arms. The Veltheran engineer was smaller than most of his species, but his understanding of complex systems was incredible. "The temporal sensors are reading perfectly," Kethfer said, checking his instruments. "Your human quick-fix methods work surprisingly well." Taman grinned. "And your careful calculations make sure my quick fixes actually work long-term. We make a good team." They had been working together for 2 months, combining human engineering speed with Veltheran precision. The result was technology that neither species could have created alone. In another part of the station, pilot Yanesio Han was practicing with the Veltheran navigation systems. The alien controls were unlike anything humans had ever used. They responded to touch, thought, and even emotion. "Feel the space around you," instructed her Veltheran teacher, Navigator Silthan. "Do not think about where you want to go. Feel it." Yanesio closed her eyes and placed her hands on the smooth alien controls. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, she began to sense something. The movement of stars, the flow of space itself. "I can feel it," she whispered. "It's like the ship is alive." "Exactly," Silthan said, his skin glowing with approval. "Human intuition combined with our navigation methods, this could revolutionize space travel." Throughout the station, similar partnerships were forming. Human and Veltheran scientists worked side by side, sharing knowledge and creating new discoveries. But the most important partnership was between Jinwu and Lirelay. They met every day to coordinate the mission planning. Their working relationship had grown stronger, and so had their personal connection. Jinwu found himself looking forward to these meetings more than anything else. "The life support systems are working perfectly," Lirelay reported, reviewing her tablet. "Your engineer, Taman, and our Kethfer have created something amazing." "They're not the only ones creating something amazing," Jinwu said, looking at her with admiration. "This whole mission exists because you believed in it." Lirelay's skin flushed pink. "We both believed in it, and our teams made it real." They were interrupted by Sujin, who entered the room looking excited. "Jinwu, Lirelay, you need to see this. We've made a breakthrough." She led them to the science lab, where screens showed complex data about the Void Nebula. "We've been analyzing the nebula's patterns for weeks, and we found something interesting." "What kind of something?" Jinwu asked. "The temporal distortions aren't random," Sujin explained. "They follow a pattern. If we can predict when the distortions will be weakest, we can plan our entry perfectly." Lirelay studied the data carefully. "This is excellent work, but the pattern is very complex. We would need both human adaptability and Veltheran calculation to use it successfully." "Exactly what we've been preparing for," Jinwoo said with excitement. That evening, Jinwoo and Lirelei walked through the observation deck of the station. Through the large windows, they could see both Earth and the Veltharan homeworld in the distance. "Are you nervous about the mission?" Jinwoo asked. "Yes," Lirelei admitted, "but also excited. This is what I have dreamed about since I was young. Exploring the unknown, discovering new things, even if it's dangerous." Lirelei's skin glowed with determination, especially because it's dangerous. The greatest discoveries require the greatest courage. Jinwoo smiled. "That's very human thinking." "Perhaps I have learned some things from you," she said with a musical laugh. They stood quietly for a moment, watching the stars. Finally, Jinwoo spoke. "Lirelei, I need to tell you something. When this mission started, it was just about exploration, but working with you, getting to know you. You've become more important to me than the mission itself." Her skin shifted to a deep rose color. Jin-Woo ... "I know your people usually take years to develop relationships," he said quickly. "I'm not asking you to rush anything. I just wanted you to know how I feel." Lirelei was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was soft but clear. "My people do move slowly in relationships. But you have taught me that sometimes, when something feels right, maybe speed is not the most important thing." "What are you saying?" "I am saying that you have become important to me too," she said. "More important than I expected. And after we complete this mission successfully, I would like to explore other possibilities." Jinwoo's heart raced. "Other possibilities. It's a possibility of a true partnership," Lirelei said, her skin glowing with golden light. "Not just for this mission, but for many missions. For a life of exploration together." Before Jinwoo could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the station. Red lights flashed, and an announcement echoed through the corridors. "All personnel to emergency stations. We've detected ships approaching from unknown space." Jinwoo and Lirelei looked at each other with concern. Their peaceful preparation time might be over. "Unknown ships," Lirelei said, her skin shifting to worried yellow. "From where?" "I don't know," Jinwoo replied, already moving toward the command center. "But we're about to find out if our human Veltharan cooperation works under pressure." As they hurried through the corridors, neither of them knew that this emergency would give them exactly the test. They needed to prove their mission could succeed. The unknown ships were heading straight for the Void Nebula, and they weren't friendly. The command center was chaos. Human and Veltharan officers worked frantically at their stations while alarms continued to sound. On the main screen, 3 unknown ships moved through space toward the Void Nebula. "What do we know about them?" Jinwoo asked as he and Lirelei entered the room. Commander Vexai looked up from his station, his skin pale with worry. "The ships are unlike anything in our databases. They appear to be heading directly into the nebula." "That's impossible," said Captain Torres, the human station commander. "No ship can survive in there alone." Lirelei studied the readings on her screen. "They are not alone. The 3 ships are connected by some kind of energy field. They are working together, just like we planned to do." Jinwoo realized. But who are they? The answer came quickly. The unknown ships suddenly changed direction and headed straight for the joint station. A communication signal came through on all frequencies. "Unknown vessels," a harsh voice said in broken English. "You will surrender your technology and leave this system immediately." Captain Torres stepped forward. "This is Captain Torres of the Joint Human Veltharan Research Station. Identify yourselves." "We are the Korvac Empire," the voice replied. "This system now belongs to us. Your cooperation experiments end today." Jinwoo felt cold fear in his stomach. The Korvac were known throughout the galaxy as raiders and conquerors. They destroyed civilizations and stole technology. Captain Jinwoo said urgently. We need to launch our mission ship now. If the Korvac get their hands on our hybrid technology, the ship isn't ready for combat, Captain Torres protested. It's not ready for combat, Lirelei agreed, but it is ready for the nebula. The Korvac ships cannot follow us in there, Commander. Vex High's gills fluttered with nervous energy. The nebula is still too dangerous. We plan to wait another month. We don't have another month, Jinwoo said. We launch now, or the Korvac destroy everything we've built. The station shook as the Korvac ships fired warning shots. Through the windows, they could see the enemy vessels approaching fast. All personnel to the mission ship, Captain Torres ordered. Launch sequence begins now. The next few minutes were a blur of activity. Jinwoo, Lirelei, and their joint crew rushed to their ship, the New Horizons. The vessel was beautiful. Sleek human lines combined with flowing Velthoran curves. It looked like it was designed by both species working together. Which it was, engineer Taman and Kethfer worked frantically in the engine room. Hybrid systems online, Taman reported. But we haven't tested them under stress. We're about to. Jinwoo replied as pilot Yansu started the launch sequence. The New Horizons pulled away from the station just as the Korvac ships arrived. The enemy vessels were dark and angular, built for war rather than exploration. Human Velthoran. Ship, the Korvac commander's voice crackled over the radio. Surrender now or be destroyed. Not today, Yanesio said grimly. Pushing the ship to maximum speed toward the Void Nebula, the Korvac ships followed, firing energy weapons that lit up space around them. The New Horizons shook under the attacks, but the hybrid shields held strong. Entering the nebula's outer edge, Yanesio announced. Immediately, everything changed. Space around them twisted and bent as temporal distortions grabbed the ship. The Korvac vessels, following close behind, suddenly began spinning out of control. Their ships can't handle the temporal stress, Sujin observed from her science station. They're falling behind, but the New Horizons was struggling too. The ship lurched and twisted as reality bent around them. Warning lights flashed on every console. Hull stress at 85%, reported Kethfer. Temporal displacement increasing, added Su-Jin.Jinwoo. Looked at Lirelei. This was the moment they had trained for human quick thinking combined with Velthoran precision. Yansio, follow the Velthoran navigation protocols, Jinwoo ordered. Feel your way through. Lirelei, guide us using the distortion patterns, he continued. Lirelei's hands moved over the navigation controls, while Yanesio closed her eyes and let instinct take over. The ship began to move more smoothly through the chaotic space. It's working, Sujin said with amazement. The combined navigation systems are actually working. Behind them, the Korvac ships had given up the chase. The nebula's dangers were too much for their single-species technology. We're safer now, Jinwoo said. But we're also deeper in the nebula than any ship has ever gone. Look at this. Sujin called out, pointing at her sensors. I'm detecting something big ahead. Something artificial. Through the swirling clouds of the nebula, a massive structure appeared. It was clearly a ship, but unlike anything they had ever seen. The vessel was enormous, easily 10 times the size of their own ship. It looks ancient, Lirelei said, her skin cycling through colors of wonder and curiosity. And dead, added Timon. No power signatures at all. Jinwoo made a decision that would change everything. We're going aboard. This could be the discovery of a lifetime. The exploration team consisted of Jinwoo, Lirelei, Sujin, and Taman, with Kethfer providing technical support. They wore special suits that combined human and Velthoran life support technology. Inside the ancient ship, they found wonders beyond imagination. The corridors were vast and beautiful, clearly designed for multiple species. Strange symbols covered the walls. Some looked human, others Feltheran, and many were completely unknown. This ship was built by a cooperation of different species, Lireley said, studying the symbols. Just like ours. In the ship's central chamber, they found something incredible. A massive computer system that activated when they approached. Holographic displays showed star maps, historical records, and most amazing of all, the faces of dozens of different alien species. "It's a record," Sujin said with excitement. "It's a record of an ancient alliance." The holographic display showed how millions of years ago, many species had worked together to explore the galaxy. They had built ships like this one to push into dangerous regions of space that no single species could handle alone. "They were just like us," Jinwoo said softly. "Different species learning to work together. What happened to them?" Yanesio's voice came through their radio from the ship. Lireley was studying the final records. They succeeded too well. They grew so confident in their cooperation that they stopped being careful. They pushed too far, too fast, and encountered something they couldn't handle. But they left this ship as a message, Taemin realized. A warning and a guide for future cooperating species. Jinwoo looked around at his mixed crew, humans and Veltherans working together in perfect harmony. "We won't make their mistakes. We'll be careful, but we'll also be brave." Hours later, the New Horizons emerged from the Void Nebula with data. That would change both their civilizations. The Korvax ships were gone, probably scared away by their failure to follow into the nebula back at the station. Jinwoo and Lireley stood together in the observation deck, watching their mixed crews celebrate their successful mission. "We did it," Lireley said, her skin glowing with golden joy. "We proved that cooperation makes us stronger." "We did more than that," Jinwoo replied. "We found evidence that the galaxy has always been about species working together." Lireley turned to face him, her skin shifting to a warm rose color. "Jinwoo, earlier you spoke of exploring possibilities together. I have been thinking about that, and I believe the greatest exploration we could do is exploring life together, not just as mission partners, but as true partners in everything." Jinwoo's heart raced. "Are you saying what I think you're saying?" "I am making a proposition," Lireley said with a musical laugh. "A real one this time." Jinwoo grinned widely. "I accept. On one condition." "What condition?" "That we keep exploring the galaxy together. There are so many wonders out there, and I want to discover them all with you." Lireley's skin blazed with silver light, the color of absolute determination mixed with pure joy. "Together then, always together." As they kissed for the first time, the stars seemed to shine brighter around them. Two species had become one. Crew, two individuals had become partners, and the galaxy had become a place full of infinite possibilities. The greatest discovery wasn't in the ancient ship or the nebula. It was in learning that the best adventures happen when different beings choose to explore the unknown together.